Hello and welcome to the Watch Kaki channel, where we bring you all the good and honest watch reviews. Welcome back to the studio. You're actually looking at my dining table. In today's video, we are going to do a full review of the SPB125J1. This is also known as the Seiko Ninja Sumo or Darth Sumo. So the all black Sumo was launched sometime in middle of last year, and they were part of a 3-model collection. They call this the Black series, and needless to say, all these watches have that all black PVD casing. I think there was a 62 mass kind of styling along with the solar chronograph. So this is the Sumo version, and I do believe that this is quite a good looking watch. And looking at the case back here, it says it is a limited edition, as you can see here from the engraving, and it is 727 out of 7,000 limited edition pieces. And I must say that this PVD case back is done really nicely. Normally for all black case Seiko divers, this part here, the back case, the case back is always still done in stainless steel, but over here for the all black series, Seiko has also done this in PVD coating. So this being a lone set, all the stickers, all the protective films are still present, and this is a loan set from our boutique. My good friend Eric has graciously loaned me this watch, and here's the hang tag. It says SPB125J1. This is going for 1088 Singapore dollars. I'm sure you get a bit of discount if you speak nicely to Eric. So I've zoomed in the camera just a bit before I talk about the specifications. Now this watch here is from the latest Gen3 Sumo, so it houses the 6R35 movement, which boosts a longer power reserve. Now it's up to 72 hours, I believe, against the previous 6R15, which has a 50-hour power reserve. And along with the new movement, Seiko has also changed things quite a bit. They've included a new sapphire crystal over the old Halex crystal found in the previous generation Sumo. They've also changed out the fonts here on the bezel. Now, ironically, the fonts were one of the reasons why the Sumo got its nickname, because of the fat, oversized fonts, the cartoonish looking ones. But this one here is a new font, and I believe this one here looks a bit more serious than before. I kind of like this one over the previous cartoonish fonts. The specs for this watch are pretty similar to the previous generation Sumo. It's got a 45mm case. It's got a total thickness of 13.2mm from the base of the case back to the top of the flat sapphire crystal. Now Seiko has listed this on their official website to be 12.9mm. I don't know how they measured that. I measured on my digital calipers, it is 13.2mm. As with all the Sumo divers, this one here has got a lug width of 20mm. Now this version here, the all black version, comes mounted on a Seiko rubber strap. Really good quality strap. We'll go more into that later on in the video, but now I'm just going to tell you the strap has a lug size of 20mm. It flares out to 24, and then eventually it goes down to the buckle end at about 20mm. So the lug to lug of the Sumo is actually quite long. I measured this, it came in at 52mm, and I would say buyers with smaller wrists, you got to take note of this measurement. 52mm is no joke. It does have a bit of curve on the mid case or on the case itself, but overall the lug to lug is still very long. Just some more information not found on Seiko's official website. The Sumo has a crystal size of 31.5mm, so bear that in mind if you're thinking of the dial size and bezel size proportions. And the Sumo also has a rather large crown. I measured this to be 7mm. Now for the Gen3 Sumos, they don't come with sign crowns anymore. The previous generations, Gen 1 and Gen 2 Sumos, they all had a sign crown, signed with the cursive Seiko S. But when it came to Gen 3, I think launched sometime in 2018, Seiko has decided to do away with all the sign crowns. So other new features of course include the new 6R35 movement. Let's see if I can find that information on the case back. There it is, 6R35 movement. So this has a lengthened power reserve. Now it's up to 70 or 72 hours, and I would say this is a really good upgrade from the older 6R15. And the case design for the black Sumo is the same as the regular series Sumo, the stainless steel ones. Only difference being this time they've got this black PVD coating, and it is done in a semi-matte finish, unlike the cheaper Seikos or Alba divers in the past where they had all black but it is rather shiny. But this one here, you can see that it has got a grainy type of matte texture going on. And I'm really liking the brushing done on the top of the lugs. You can see the texture and the grains here from the brushing. Really nicely done. Obviously you can't really see much of the shiny bevels because over here, like I said, the coating is done in a semi-matte finish. So as opposed to the usual stainless steel versions, you don't get to see much of a shiny bevel. There's still a bit of shine going on, the sheen there, but overall I would say it's a semi-matte finish on the bevels. And true to the case design philosophy of the Seiko Sumos, this one here, the curves and the bevels, they really make the watch rather elegant. I would say the Sumo is always known as a sort of a slightly dressier style of diver, unlike the samurais or the tuna where they look more rugged. And this one here has a bit of elegance in it due to all the curves and bevels. So all these factors such as the curve mid case, it's really nice curve here at the mid case, the bevels, and this scalloping inwards of the case, they make the Sumo wear smaller than what the specs would suggest. So this is a 45mm diver. Lug to lug is 52. Sounds like a giant, sounds like a hockey puck kind of style, but in reality it wears smaller than what it would suggest. So a special mention to the case design of the Sumo. I really like how the case sort of encapsulates the bezel closer to the mid case, and then it sort of reveals the bezel once again at the 12 and 6 o'clock areas. I just think this is very pleasing to the eye. It flows really nicely. Just take a look here. So over here at the 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock areas, bezel is totally exposed. I assume it is for you to operate the bezel, and then over here it slopes in, and this is really pleasing to the eye. And of course the Sumo has a rather standard Seiko 120 click dive bezel, so there's nothing to shout about in terms of bezel action. It's the usual Seiko-ish kind of feel. So to round off the segment on the case design, I really love how this all black case looks. You know, you've got this all black case, crown, bezel. I just wonder how long this coating or how well it can last when it comes to daily wear and taking knocks here and there, because in my experience, I think PVD watches, they look good when they're brand new, but if you wear them regularly over a period of time, I don't know, you may get dings and scrapes and peeling of the coating. And now we're going to talk about the dial design of the Ninja Sumo. So this one here, obviously, as the name implies, it is black on black, all black, stealth. The bezel here is nicely done. I think I really like the grey color from 0 to 20 minutes for the countdown timer, and the rest of the bezel is done in all black with silver prints on the numbers and markers. And also I must say I like the splash of orange on the minutes hand. So this one here has got a new handset. The Gen3 Sumo, they have a new slimmer handset. Notably, the minute hand is much slimmer than before, and over here for the all black version, they've also sort of included some 4 patina kind of markers, or at least on the Lume. So these markers here, they are applied, and I must say I really like the shininess of the borders. Take a look here. Now on each of the dots and the trapezium, you can see that there is a border. The frame there is really shiny, and this is done very well. It is not gaudy, it's not done in a cheap manner. Very nice work from Seiko. And of course I must say something about the white date wheel. So viewers on my channel, you would have known that I have been a hater, a big time hater of white date wheel. So I think the less I say about this date wheel, the better it is for my channel. Alright, you make your decision. We've got 4 patina markers. You know, everything looks good, stealth look, and out of the blue you get a pure white date wheel here. I leave it to you to make your decisions on that. The Gen3 Sumo still carries that famous or infamous 12 o'clock marker. They've sort of redesigned the 12 o'clock marker. I think this one here looks more triangular. It looks sharper than the previous one that is more trapezium looking, but overall the design cue is largely the same. So again, I just like to draw your attention to the bling bling frames or the borders of the markers. I think they're really well done. Just take a look at the 12 marker here. As I play with the light, you can see how nice it is. Shiny, but you know, without being gaudy. This is a good job. And perhaps there's a slight disappointment that Seiko didn't match the Lume application on the hands to those of the markers. Just have a look here. The markers here, they are done in like a peachy 4 patina kind of color, but the handsets, they have the standard bright looking Lume application. So it would be better if they bother to color match these two. And now we're going to switch off the lights and see how the Lume performs in darkness. And here you go, Seiko Lume, king of the hill. I tell you, Seiko Lume is the brightest. There's no doubt on that. The dive markers here on the bezel, they look as if they're Lume, but I can tell you they are not. Most likely it's due to the Lume on the markers and the Lume pip, or it could be a bit of the light that's coming through the windowsill on my left here. So just take a look at how bright this Lume is. I'm very impressed. And now I've zoomed out to show you a wrist shot of the Ninja Sumo on my wrist. I've got a really small wrist and it's really showing. The Sumo is a big watch. It's a really big watch, and I think the watch is almost eaten up my entire wrist, so to speak. It's got a really long lug to lug length, 52 millimeters, but thanks to the curved mid case or the curved case design, this one here, you know, I think I can barely wear this one. So, you know, buyers who have a smaller wrist, if you're looking at the Sumo, you might want to make a note on that. And just before we zoom out to close this video review, I'm just going to show you the inner lining of this new rubber strap. I've never seen this one before. I've held a few more recent rubber straps, and I believe this has to be the latest iteration of the Seiko rubber strap because it's got a new pattern here on the inside, and it's really comfortable. It's a really nice rubber strap, and this one here is 20 millimeters at the lug, flares to 24 just outside the lugs, and it comes back down to 20. So for this version here, it also has got matching black hardware. Again, nicely done. So there you have it. That was my review of the SPB125J1, popularly known as the Ninja Sumo or Darth Sumo. In this case, this is the all black special or limited edition all black Sumo, only limited 7,000 pieces. So it is not a cheap watch. I would say this occupies the mid-range of Seiko watches, Seiko divers. So but then again, it represents pretty good value because it's got sapphire crystal, an upgraded movement from the usual 4R series. The 6R does have some kind of shock protection and lengthened power reserve. So if you're looking to get one of these mid-range divers, I would say the Sumo is not a bad choice. Until next week, where we've got new videos uploaded for you, this is the Watch Kaki signing off from Singapore, together with George. We'll see you soon. Bye bye. I am your father, George.